Charles Spurgeon, who was a famous preacher from the UK, Andrew. And his quote was, faith climbs the stairs that love builds, and look through the windows that hope opens. And I would like to dedicate this award to my family, but more importantly, my Proverbs 4, which is really a father's instructions. And so when I think about who I am, I'm a product of my grandparents and my grandmother and father, mother, etc. And I lost my father in October of last year. And he had diabetes for about 30 years, and he had a silent heart attack. My grandmother, my father's mother, died at 87, had diabetes 50 years. And when I was 8 and 9, I used to give her insulin shots. She used to take U80 protein and zinc. I got a driver's license when I was 12, and I used to drive her to the doctor's office, 12 miles up to Henderson, Texas. And she would argue with the doctor about raising her insulin because she had pyrotrophy the night before. So who would have ever thought that I would go into medicine and that it would be the divine purpose that I would be serving in diabetes and strictly amputation prevention. My grandmother lost her leg at 80, and she sent her 3 kids to college for me. She had a store, she was an entrepreneur, and she could have been Obama had she had the opportunity. But when she passed away in her service, the minister said Mother Bedwell was an organizer. She served the community for 87 years. And so I was so sad, but on property number 4, it was something, the Spirit hit me and said, you know, if you can contribute about half the service that my grandmother contributed, life is great. You know, so really my sadness really became joy. It really became a celebration. And when I look at my father's service, it was really the same thing. He was a school teacher and coached football for 40 years. And his service was very, very similar to my grandmother. So when I think about the award, it really goes back to really all of that. And when I left Texas, I was kind of upset and angry and learned a lesson about how to deal with loss in my life and rejection. So, but God always has great opportunities for us, so the opportunity to be in Pomona and serve is far surpasses anything that I contributed in Texas. And the reason for that is that I get to infect the students from day one, not after they've been polluted when they become a resident. And so that's a bigger opportunity that I'm starting to see the fruit of. We just had our match, and we graduated 23 students in our inaugural class in 2 months. And the match was Wednesday, and our students were very successful in matching, and in some of the top programs in the country. I was just talking with Dane Wilkins, and one of our students will be training at the University of Pittsburgh. So when you look back at your life of service, it's what kind of fruit did you produce? And so I'm challenging all of you in your life, what have you done, what kind of fruit are you producing in terms of continuing the cycle of life, if you will. And to me, there's no better tribute than to be honored for your life of service in terms of work. And so my minister says service is the price we pay, you know, for the space we occupy. And so make sure that you are planting seeds and that you are producing fruit. But it's not about the PDA here that things happen overnight. To produce a great harvest, you have to plant, you got to give it time to grow, and you have to harvest. And you can't plant and harvest all at the same time. And so, to me, that's my message. I've been honored for something that I love. It's not like having work. And I'll close by thinking about Dr. Harvey LaFontaine, who's at UT Southwestern, who trained with me. He's with Dr. Lavery now. When he called me up in 2008, he said, Dr. Harkless, how did you do that for 30 years? He said, Arthur was trying to cut you out, and everything that was happening was all some type of crisis all the time. And I said, I really never focused on the crisis. I said, every week that I went to conference on Tuesday and Grand Times on Wednesday, it was like going to Chevron and Shell and getting a new, some super unleaded to put in my tank. Because when I saw them growing, I got excited every week. And I said, now when I didn't get excited, I would go in and say, I don't see no excitement in the room. I'm going back home and watching the Today Show like everybody else. I'll get up later. And so that's the whole point. But I wanted to thank my wife and family. I think that they're here. I couldn't be able to do anything, accomplish anything without my wife. And most people that know me, I'm a social person. I like to talk to people. And my favorite quote from my wife is that I'll talk to a dead dog on the way home, which will be an hour late. But thank you very much. I appreciate it.